Hi, my name is Joelle Lancaster. I'm a reliability analyst at the Canadian Electricity Association. Today on CEA's The Future Is Now series, we're chatting about a prestigious certification for best practices in asset management that was presented to one of our members earlier this year. Welcome, Lori Heff. Tell us a little bit about how Hydro Ottawa achieved the certification and what it means for your utility.
Sure, thanks, Joelle. So Hydro Ottawa achieved this certification through actually many years of hard work. It first began with us conducting a gap analysis against our system to understand kind of how far off we were and what advances we were going to need to make in order to actually achieve certification. From there, we spent many years collaborating and working collectively as a team in order to close those gaps until we finally got ourselves to a place where we felt we were ready to actually challenge the certification and actually become officially ISO 55000 certified. So what it means to our organization is that we get to showcase to the rest of the industry the asset management system that we have in place and the great system that we have managed to collectively develop as a team, and that we also get to ensure that our customers get to reap the benefits as well of the asset management system that we have so long worked hard to put in place.
Awesome. And why do standards like this matter?
So I'd say ISO specifically, the standard matters because it gives everybody, so when people think of ISO in general, very much so I think most people's minds at this point in North America in general would go to the 9001, which is something you see from like the manufacturing side quite a bit. And you get it comes with essentially a guarantee of a certain level of quality. It's a recognized standard that around the world that people know that they're getting something consistent, and that there's a certain level of predictability as well on what you're going to get when you look at it from the manufacturing side. And so there's like some people know they're getting a good quality and consistent product. So there's a lot of parallels back into that whenever you look at the asset management side of things. And the reason that I feel like these types of certifications matter is because it actually gives our customers a sense of an understanding that we have a good control of our system, that we are adhering to something that's internationally recognized, and that we're therefore spending their money wisely and making their investments soundly.
And can you talk about some of the gaps that needed to be filled in order to receive the certification?
Yeah, so to be honest, as much as we had really good bones of our asset management system right from the beginning, but there was a number of areas that we definitely noticed that we had to close as per the gap, and there were some ones that kind of stood out. I'd say one of the ones that we first recognized after going through the gap analysis was that our strategic objectives and our company's objectives as a whole, we didn't necessarily have a clear identifiable link to our asset management objectives. And so going through that process really allowed us to ensure that all of the decisions we were making in terms of our investments in our assets in one way or another circled back and directly connected to the company's strategic management or strategic objectives as well. We also did note that our management of change process didn't necessarily involve a thorough risk analysis, which is risk assessments and risk analysis are obviously very big parts of any ISO certification and any of the ISO processes. And so that development of this very holistic risk register that has a lot of rigor behind it, and linking it to our management of change process was one of the gaps that we'd found to be a pretty substantial one that we were able to close, and helped us to also achieve the certification.
How does this new standard impact the Hydro Ottawa customers and the community?
I guess one of the big pieces is it ensures that there's an element of continuous improvement that is fundamental to the ISO 55000 or any ISO standard. So it's ensuring that it's a commitment to our customers that we are continually looking for areas that we can improve. We're looking at ways to ensure that we are gaining productivity, driving efficiencies, and then fundamentally, it's a recognition to the consumer, to the customers, and in general, that we do take spending their money very seriously, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, is we're collecting money from our ratepayers and we're using it to reinvest in the assets in our system. And so it's essentially giving peace of mind to our customers that we do carefully consider all these investments, and that we are using a world-class standard in order to ensure that those investments are sound, and that they get the best benefit possible from those.
So what is next at Hydro Ottawa to continue to keep customers and the community top of mind?
So I'd say next piece for us is that how do we continually drive further productivity improvements? So now we have a solid foundation in place. Our asset management system is now, the fundamentals are all there. We have great processes in place to be sure that we're continually reviewing them. And so I'd say our next piece is to continue to drive productivity, find even more efficiencies, and find ways to do to add even more value to the system using even less money where possible. So the productivity improvements is definitely probably our next great hurdle, I would say.
What is one word you would use to describe electricity?
I think one word I would use to describe electricity would be fundamental.
Thank you so much, Laurie, for joining us today and for the discussion.
Thanks, Joelle.